Alrighty, let's do this.
Be careful out there.
Bubbles, chill, wait. Careful, like playing the open, right? Again, like, you don't bubbles, you don't want to actually take damage. So you'd much rather just play a corner and just like kind of pick it and lob grenades, right? And then if you realize that like you want to be on the other side, then you can cross later. But you don't want to play in the open, right? You want to pick one side and stick to it. If I can find, there you are. Okay. Charge now, you can fight. Alright, you fought too aggressively before you actually had your self bubble, and then you had to use your self bubble to get out, as opposed to like forcing the issue. So you're walking in again before you have your self bubble, right? Live, so you just have to get out. So just pushing out, really stagger the ball, not more is chaseable. Wait, there she's right there. Alright, but like if she fades right here, like think of where she can go. Behind you, you checked, right? Also, like in general, if you walk forward, like if you go, she ends up biting behind you, you can backfill, right? She can go this way, right? In which case you should be chasing, right? Or she go this way. She can go this way, which is like kind of like a mix, where she's not really actually getting away, but she's grabbing health, right? So you can either like, so when you see her fade in front of you, you should walk forward, and then turn around as you're walking forward, and be like, oh, she's not there, not here. Oh, okay, she has to be here, right? If you come around, you see her here, you shoot her, right? If you see her behind you, or you turn around, you start going back, right? And then like again, this is the only other place you can possibly go. Also, just listen for the audio cue, right? So. Yeah, be careful just like crossing the space without bubble, right? You need bubble to fight. You don't really want to walk past like this McCree is not gonna get away, right? You just chill over here, right? Wait until you bubble, and then you like cut him off, right? If he tries to run back to your team, you just shoot him, right? And if he doesn't, right, you just sticks around, then you cross and bubble and go kill him, right? Or you cross, and if you get start getting shot, then you bubble, right? So. By the way, you can start walking forward now. You've killed like the McCree and the Moira. They don't really have a ton of range damage anymore, so you can just kind of walk in for free. With Tracer, you want to emphasize right-clicking her, because burst damage is what kills Tracer, not consistent damage, right? Consistent damage is good when it's convenient, but against Tracer, you really want to emphasize like just shooting right-clicks at her and making her sad. Yeah, okay, so this just comes down to bubble timing. So this is fine. Tracer, no recall. Right click is good. Just worth noting, by the way, that one right click plus a little bit of beam, because again, the right click bounces makes the beam easier, right? She lost half her health, right? It didn't even look like it, right? But she took so much damage from that actually. Here, this bubble's too early, right? Because if you look what's shooting you, right? It's just like really just a Zarya, like a baby demon, right? So if you just walk in front and you start beaming the Zarya, and then when the Zarya turns to fight you, then you bubble, then the Zarya is probably pretty toast, right? But you just bubble too early, and even if you get charge off it, like it's just too early, and you can't really abuse its strengths, right? You chase after as if you still have bubble, but you don't have bubble, right? So this just makes you sad. If you double bubbles, you die. Again, play corners for the most part.
I still have you. Count me out. Lights out. What's your back? Barriers on you.
Wow, that trigger added trouble.
Your best.
Alright, so in these situations, you have to start walking forward. You need to walk forward, you need to accumulate charge, right? The only way you maintain charge is if you keep getting shot, right? So, the only way you can do that is if they're all dead, is you just walk into their spawn, essentially, right? Like, Zarya, you just want to keep walking forward to maintain, like, charge. If you run into them, right, then you play your spacing, right? But for the most part, you want to play forward, and that way you can build energy, right? As forward as you need to stay in contact with the enemy team, right? And then, obviously, you want to emphasize high ground, so if they weren't here, you just start walking up these stairs, and then you get to here, and finally be like, okay, this is probably as far as I can go reasonably. But like until then, you just keep going forward, right?
Hello there. Огонь по готовности!
So this grab kind of sucks, mostly because A, you probably already won, and B, that Moira was never going to be in the grab, it was just a Zarya. And for Zarya, you want to try and force her self bubble first before you go for the grab, so that way you can just kill her by yourself, right? You don't want to necessarily force this dragon follow-up. If you know you have a dragon follow-up, then you're looking for something much bigger than just a Zarya. Zarya's not bad, but again, you want to save that for like next point when you're over here, and the 66, like at this spot, right? Like that's when you want grab dragon, because this fight is very winnable without it, right? It's in fact pretty much already won, right? So this is just too aggressive with your ult. Or like grab to chase down these kills, right? A grab like right here, assuming he doesn't get deflected, don't get it deflected, right? If you threw a grab here and grab dragon this, 3 kills, they're all set in the respawn, you can you have total control of high ground, that'd be a good grab, right? Maybe not the best, but it would be good, right?
I am on fire!
Don't get grab deflected. That always sucks. Alright, so you guys won, you should go take high ground. No,
Get in
again,
there!
So that bubble's okay, is if you literally tend to not do anything as you round the corner, you just turn around, throw a bubble, see if it works, and then you go high ground, right? But like, if you're planning to play low ground, which you shouldn't, this bubble is pretty bad. Because again, you have no information. Please play high ground.
Bad guys.
Found the brick. Still over there. Go for another weapon. Now there's stuff happening behind you. Like if you listen, you hear the bash and your McCree like going ooh, right? Just turn around and go look for it, right?
Your best shot!
If you're behind you, something flash. You gotta listen to the cues, right? So that way you don't walk all the way over here to do this, right? You try and kill him from here, and then you drop because there's a McCree literally behind you, right? You'd also be aware there's problems happening over here with this brig, right? And you might just drop earlier anyways to go kill the brig anyways. And then like once you kill the brig, you just go back up the stairs and you're golden, right? But you gotta listen to sound cues. If there's stuff happening behind you, right? The McCree's shooting you from behind, right? Like you know he's behind you, and if you don't have bubble, he's going to flash you, right? Like you gotta expect that. Right. So your team is probably losing this fight. Like it's not looking too good, right? So as soon as you get that bubble, you should be starting to play like you shouldn't walk any closer than like this point because your team might need a run, right? Like everybody's kind of low, everybody's already backing, right? You might just need to leave the Rissa to die, and you can play close-ish, right? Like you can play closer than these guys, right? But you want to be ready to run in case this goes south really fast, right? This is just a little bit too aggressive in the absence of knowing what's about to happen, right? So it might work out okay, but it might not. I need to be ready to run just in case. And it's not a wall. So if you were like back here, you just don't get grabbed, right? You just walk away. That's my Discord though, by the way. Alright, good bubble, good bubble again. Kill that guy. Cover if you need to. You should right click by the way to finish it. Right click melee. Live or alive. Before waking this guy, I know it's tempting to shoot him, right? But just like stand on top of his body for half a second, and like if you're in comms, do a 3-2-1, right? So if like you're in ranked games and no one's calming, right, and you don't feel like doing a 3-2-1, just stand on top and look at your teammate, look at your Ana, right, and like pay attention to what happens to the brig. So if anybody shoots the brig, then you shoot, right? If the Ana looks at the brig and it's like doing something, wait until the Ana shoots before you shoot the brig, right? If the sleep's about to wake off, like wear off, then you shoot the brig. You never be the first person to shoot the sleep before everyone's ready, right? Yeah, this is especially true in Diva, but it's also important for Zarya. Okay, this Genji doesn't matter. What really matters is killing this Zarya. She's no health, no healers. Just run her down, right? Go kill her. Kind of doesn't Alright, so they all escaped. So what should you be doing right now? You should be going high ground, right? So either go around back, left side, go high ground, or go on right side, take the stairs, go high ground. Either or. Right side's probably a little closer. Actually, you're really on the left, so maybe your left side's closer. It's hard to say. You can potentially just come over this way and just like contest the high ground directly, try to going up that way. And if you run into McCree, you can potentially kill him if you have bubble. But that one's like a bit more in the air, especially if you don't have bubble, which you don't. This low ground stuff though, not what we want. Ooh, don't come out the door, especially if you don't have bubble. Flash. No, don't grab that! Too late, yeah. Your team's down too much for this grab.
Allow me to repair the damage.
Again, like, you gotta, like, you're doing a better job building energy more reliably. This team's also just shooting your bubbles a lot, but, I mean, you take those, right? But you gotta be careful about, like, just, like, walking forward when you don't have your self bubble. Your self bubble is, like, what allows you to be aggressive. If you don't have it, you can't really be aggressive. That bubble, your self bubble's a little too early. You gotta take it to 0 damage. Oh no, disaster. Yeah, always watch out for moves, especially against like Lucio. But like, just like don't stand next to close in general. Don't even risk it. Oh, your bubble's too early. Oh, you live. Yeah, you want to time that bubble so it blows up on the. Get rid of the. Again, you're not playing cover. You're playing this open space instead of like just backing out using these pillars, right? And instead of backing into this area like this Hanzo is, right? Just playing this space. There's a mega over here, right? It's just harder to extend into like these catacombs, right? You just kind of play what is it? Snacks Ramus. You just play Snacks Ramus. You just hide, you know, and you chill. And it's just much harder to go on you than if you're standing in open space, right? Yeah. Also, your tracking on Genji needs a little work. Genji's really not favored to beat you when you're high charge. Just, you know, you just beat him down. You can't do much about it.
Practice makes perfect. Just a scratch.
Bubble. Kind of sucks because you just saw him put down the shield, right? So wait until he walks past the shield, or if somebody else walks past the shield before you bubble him there, because like again, like he's behind the shield, he's not going to take any damage for you. A little bit, but like
Double. This good. 30 seconds. Keep moving. This is it.
kill him.
Good cover.
So you heard him get slept, right? Above you. So if you hear the McCree get slept, you don't need a bubble anyone, right? That bubble's like again, listen to sound cues, right? I heard the McCree get slept. You probably should be able to as well. And then like, don't bubble them because the threat's no longer there. Again, don't come out this door. This door is not your friend. You just want to come out, like play the open space, so you have visibility of what's going on, and you can also hug the wall, right? And then if you want to go this way, this means you're trying to get up the stairs, right? So you can take high ground, right? So like if you're walking this way, I need to see you just like book it up these stairs because they're about to come out, and you don't want to try and force the stairs when they're looking at you, right? So yeah, you're backing up. Disaster. I know you can see the shield, but
10 seconds.
now your aggression has to be very limited. Yeah, this is why I should be high ground earlier. This D.Va just straight up doesn't kill your Hanzo if you're up here, right? Probably not the grab. The grab probably shouldn't place like at the D.Va's feet, like around here, because this is where everybody was. But I understand why you grabbed here. Like the timing of the grab was fine, just to place him is kind of. Used everything. But we got that McCree 5k, that's what matters. You gotta play the game. He had a Bongo Nano, 200% damage high noon with grab.
My will made real.
Rob. Your self levels are still really rough. Your objectives are getting a lot better. At least. Or like, game consistency
Get in
on the
there.
round. Predictions are wall climb. Patient with self levels. Die. Alright. Oh, someone else go hook. Okay. Oh, their soldier died. Your guy died.
30 seconds.
Early again? Double burst early again. The shield's still up, so and they also have a hog. So you're mostly just holding this hook, until the end of time, waiting for someone to hook, waiting for this hog to hook. Right? You're just holding the bubble, and then as soon as the hook comes out, you bubble his hook, and then he's super sad. Right? Um, but you're really not looking to bubble anyone anymore until this hog hooks. If this hog misses, then you get a free bubble, but you have to be fast about it, right? Just pick a random person, bubble them, and call it a day. Because you need to sync your cooldown on your bubble with this hook. And you don't bubble for this guy, you really should die immediately. Yeah. Anyways, that about wraps it up, I think. A lot of the same, or a lot of like repeating problems with your self bubble. Again, really make sure you save it for when you're actually trying to get aggressive. Once you've built energy, so using self bubble for energy is not really that important, right? Or like using either bubble for energy is not really that important, right? You only need one to get you up to speed, and whichever one's more convenient to build energy off of poke. To build energy off of poke, that's the one you use, right? So if like you're not going to be in any danger anytime soon, you use your self bubble. If your teammates are unlikely to be in danger, you use your projected bubble to build energy. Sorry about that. And the basic concept is that like you use your self bubble to be aggressive, right? And you use projected bubble to allow teammates to be aggressive or to bail them out, right? But if like you use your bubble for energy and then go aggressive, like you're just kind of like out of rhythm, right? And you almost died a lot of times. You did die a lot of the time. So yeah. Gotta keep that in mind. Again, emphasize high ground. You have to take high ground on Zarya. Also, listen to sound cues. I also strongly recommend turning on allied health bars. I don't know if you have them on. Actually, I think I can check like this. If I just turn them off and then check your POV. Okay, I think you have allied health bars on, which is good. Wait, hang on. Am I getting Skamons here? You don't. Okay, you need to turn this on. You really need to turn this on for Zarya because you know if you don't know how low someone is, how are you supposed to know if you're supposed to bubble them, right? Like you can kind of read focus, but it's a lot easier if you just know if somebody's low and you bubble them, right? So turn on allied health bars, please, for all characters, but especially for like characters like Zarya, that need to help people, right? And Diva, and then yeah, I think those are the big points. High ground, high ground, high ground. Listen to sound cues. And yeah, work on your tracking when you have time as well. I strongly recommend things like what is it? What is it called? Aim Labs. It's free on Steam, and it's pretty nice. And yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. And if you watch the whole video, DM me what 5 times 4 is. All right, that's all.